Good morning, dear aspirants. Today's news. Poll panel has to hold election of Vice President immediately. Comes under GS2, Polity and Governance. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar's resignation due to health reasons has created a mid-term constitutional vacancy, requiring Election Commission to conduct a fresh election immediately as per the constitutional provision. Vice President's post cannot be left vacant under Constitution. No succession mechanisms exist apart from conducting a fresh election. Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha will officiate proceedings until new Vice President takes charge. Election Commission is mandated to immediately notify and conduct election. The Electoral College includes elected and nominated members of both houses of Parliament. Each MP's vote carries equal value. Election of the Vice President. Vice President, alike President, is elected not directly by the people but indirectly. It consists of both elected and nominated members of the Parliament. Does not include the members of the State Legislative Assembly. Vice President's election, like that of President election, is held in accordance with the system of proportional representation by means of single transferable vote. The voting is by secret ballot. All doubts and disputes concerning the election of Vice President are inquired into and decided by Supreme Court, whose decision is final. Term and vacancy. The term of Vice President holds office for the term 5 years from the date on which he enters his office. However, his resignation from his office anytime by addressing resignation to the letter to President. How different constitutional drafts imagined India. Comes under GS2, Polity and Governance. Before the adoption of 1950 Constitution, multiple drafts 1895 to 1948 were proposed by various ideologies reflecting the contrasting vision of sovereignty, governance, rights, economy and identity. These efforts offer deep insight into evaluation of constitutional thought in pre-independence. Constitutional drafts of 1895 to 1948. 5 major constitutional drafts proposed between 1895 and 1948 shaped India's constitutional discourse. These were M.N. Roy draft in 1944, Gandhian Constitution 1946, Socialist Party draft 1948, Hindustan Free State draft 1944. The elements from these drafts influenced the final 1950 Constitution, through none were adopted in full. Constitutional drafts were Constitution of India Bill 1895, attributed to early nationalists, proposed representative government, civil liberties, separation of powers and rule of law. Heavily inspired by British colonial liberalism, focused on dominion status. M.N. Roy's draft 1944, rooted in radical humanism and participatory democracy, introduced right to revolt, enforced the socio-economic rights and citizen committees, emphasized federalism and linguistic states and transparency. Supreme Court cautions Enforcement Direct against being used to fight political battles. In Muda case, High Court raised the doubts about the Enforcement Direct haste in initiating process. Enforcement Direct is multidisciplinary organization mandated with investigation of offences of money laundering and violation of foreign exchange laws. It functions under Ministry of Finance. As a premier financial investigation agency of Government of India, the Enforcement Directorate functions in strict compliance with the Constitution and law. Genesis. NISAR. The first joint satellite of NISAR, NASA and ISRO, scheduled to be launched July 30. India and United States set to launch first joint Earth observation satellite developed by NASA and ISRO. Launch date July 30, 2025. Orbit 743 km sun-synchronous orbit, which has inclination about 98.4 degree. Data frequency revisits every 12 days, providing all-weather day and night coverage. Launch vehicle deployed is GSLV F-16. NISAR stands for NASA ISRO Synthetic Aperture Radar, symbolizing collaboration in earth science and space-based observation. Dual frequency SAR allowed high resolution imaging for monitoring and land and ice movements, infrastructure changes and vegetation dynamics. The satellite features Sweep SR, a cutting edge radar technology enabling large area high resolution coverage. The mission represents strategic, technological and diplomatical milestone in India-US relationship in space exploration. Satellite bus is based on ISRO modified 13K platform, ensuring indigenous integration and support. Please practice this mock question. Thank you.